from WBNE.
Howdy, yokes, and welcome back to Bacon and Eggs. I'm Tyler Carlin.
And I'm Ethan Edgehill.
And today is Monday.
And this is Bacon and Eggs.
So destroy your Renaissance fair.
And find yourself.
Because today we're bringing you
Loki.
I'm gonna get out of bed and start my day. Cook up a breakfast of bacon and eggs. I won't check my phone till after my coffee.
Episode 2 of Loki, The Variant. Directed again by Kate Herron, came out 2 days ago, 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Blew me away. Blew me straight away.
This was a good one, man. This was a good one.
This had an uncanny effect that I have been waiting for a long time with these Marvel TV shows.
Okay.
And honestly, with movies lately, like I'm a very distractible person, and I've noticed it more lately with myself. Like I've been dissociating constantly.
Okay.
I did not want this episode to end. That's how I knew it was so good.
Yes, this was a good one. I was
I was on
thoroughly
the edge
intrigued.
of my seat. I just wanted more. I was like, oh my God, I cannot wait. I was like Woody in Toy Story 2.
I don't get it.
When's the next episode? The show was canceled.
Gotcha.
You're the prospector.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this was crazy. This was a good one. Got some huge developments. It was not a whole lot of exposition in this one. Well, it was a different kind of exposition.
Yeah. I feel like one small problem for me is that I know every time Marvel does these time travel things, they're like, let's do everything we can to make it just make sense, right? So
Sure.
that the layman understands the time travel. I do not get it. I know if I sit and think about it for a little while, I'll be like, okay, I kind of get it.
A lot of people were tripped up by the time travel in the first episode and in this one, and I do not understand why.
Well, it's just the conversation. There's a conversation. There's a lot of these that happen, so it'll be tough to pinpoint. But there's a conversation that happens between Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston, which their names sound like similar enough.
It's almost like they have different names in the show that you can refer to them as.
Loki and Mobius.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one. Anyway, Mobius.
Those are their characters. It's not like Owen Wilson is playing Owen Wilson. He didn't walk in like, wow, time travel, huh?
Loki and Mobius, best buddies. They're having a conversation, and it's when Loki's doing the thing with the salt and pepper into the salad.
Yeah.
That conversation was like, I understand the outcome of the conversation. That like, if you go to a apocalyptic event and you change things, it doesn't matter because the world ends anyway. But the way it was explained to me, I was like, I just don't follow your explanation here.
Okay. So what confused you?
I don't even know. That's the thing, is like there were so many words I was like, I mean, I buy in 100%, like whatever, let's keep going. I will say I knew at the start of this episode that the person under the hood was Lady Loki.
Yeah, they like, and
They
maybe it's
set
just
it up
because
so easy.
Maybe it's just because I've heard enough people the last week be like, oh, I think it's Lady Loki, that I was like looking out for that. But they were like, he pronouns.
He shows up in all these different shapes. Look at him as a barbarian.
But he's a shapeshifter. He is a shapeshifter. He does this and he's a shapeshifter. And like, they are being very obvious that it's not what we think it is.
It's a woman.
It's a woman, turns out, who looks nothing like him.
Yeah. But that's still like, does she have to? Like Loki.
No, but that was the easy play, right? Is to be like, oh, it's Tom Hiddleston, but a girl, right?
Right. I did think they had some similar features. Like, obviously, they weren't.
Yeah, it's the costume, I think.
No, I don't think it's the costume. It was the nose.
I don't know about all that one.
I also don't know who this actress is. I do know that they, like, Marvel made a heck of a move being like, we're going to have 3 people who are not Loki caliber actors play Loki in this episode. And one of them is going to be a Best Buy employee that we genuinely pulled from a Best Buy.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a good actor. He's a Best Buy employee.
Random redneck.
No, not the redneck. The guy before him.
No,
I
know. I'm just saying. Those are the options you got here.
Right. And I was like, okay. I guess we're doing this. This
so.
seems like an unsafe play. One of the reasons Loki's so great is because Tom Hiddleston ended up being a fantastic actor who could only do what he does.
Yeah, this Rex Corp or whatever.
Yeah,
whatever the store is in
I will say,
2050 Alabama.
I caught an Easter egg. Did you catch the one I caught?
Which one?
Which one did you catch?
I didn't say I caught one.
Okay, I'll tell you which one I caught. There was a coaster that Mobius sets down.
Okay.
That was hex shaped.
Was it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, yeah. It's all coming together. Also, the Time Lords or whatever are not real.
The Timekeepers? Yeah, no way.
Not real.
Something's up there.
This is a projection of Elizabeth Olsen's mind.
I don't know about that.
I don't know if it's her mind.
That would be wild. That would be a wild play.
If, like, at the very end, all of a sudden, here's my
Darcy
working,
walks in just like, hey, what was that, guys?
Here's my working theory. There's a complication here.
Okay. Tell me about the complication.
Doctor Strange in Infinity War sees 14 million different outcomes.
Right.
According to the Time Variance Authority, that shouldn't be possible.
I think he saw a lot where the Time Variance Authority were like, no, not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen that way. I guess maybe the reason the one you needed to happen happened was because it was
the Time Variance Authority. Yeah,
right. Because it was always gonna happen. But I don't know. I think there's something there. I think they're trying to throw us for a loop, being like, the Time Variance Authority has Infinity Stones. They don't care. Like, they're above the Infinity Stones. But you're gonna have to really sell me on, like, they're above the Infinity Stones.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, I'm almost certain that down the line, when my kids are in their teens, there will be another Infinity Stone arc in
Maybe.
the MCU.
Maybe. I have no idea, honestly. I couldn't tell you what's going to happen with the future of Infinity Stones.
When do you think the MCU will leave the zeitgeist, but there will still be enough dedicated fans that it gets to continue on?
Well, that would be out of the zeitgeist.
I suppose so.
That's sort of the crux of the zeitgeist, right? It's like, there's no second season of Firefly.
Firefly was canceled.
Yeah.
To make room for, like, Deal or No Deal or something.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
But, like, it has plenty of fans, but it doesn't get to exist.
Right. I don't think the MCU is going anywhere, though.
No, but I could definitely see a point in 5 or 10 years where they're just like, nah.
We're done.
Like, surely they can't keep this pace forever. Like, people will start to get bored.
I don't know that they will, man.
I think they will.
Think about comic books. It's been like 100 years, 80 years of Superman, right? 80, is that what we just came up on?
Sure.
I don't know. It's some ridiculous amount of these heroes. They're still churning them out with a ton of other comic book characters, and it's never had a lull.
And there
it's
are
had lulls.
It's definitely
never
had lulls.
gone away.
And there's a lot of people that are not watching these shows that are resistant to the ideas of the shows in general, that are also not really excited about Black Widow or Shang-Chi or Eternals. Like, Black Widow, I don't think is going to get a sequel.
No, I think ScarJo's done with this one.
Regardless, I don't think she's. I still don't think she's done. I still think she's dead. I still have no faith in that being dead. I think that as soon as they're like, oh man, we need a ringer, like one of these shows, she's going to walk in and be like, hey guys, what'd I miss?
I'm Natasha Romanoff.
I died.
Here's my only.
And it may be this one, honestly. They may have gone and decided like, oh, well, Loki's going to come out in the middle of the Black Widow release. Maybe we'll just add a Black Widow cameo at the end of Loki.
Man, that's a lot of faith on the viewers to see both things.
And that's the point I'm making, though, is like, how long is that going to go on, right? Because if you keep making these series where you got to pay attention every single week for an entire year, basically, you're going to lose people. And then if you start... if you start putting in movies people don't care about, you start charging people $30 to see movies they don't care about, where they're not going to go to see them in the theaters, like, who knows, man?
I'm very curious to see how the rest of this phase shakes out, because I think Star Wars does it well, where, like, if you're just a shows person, Star Wars is maybe enjoyable. I don't know. But if you're just a movies person, you get a complete narrative. Like
Yeah.
from 1 through 3, and then the middle ones, and then 4 through 6, and then 7 through 9. Like you don't need to see Clone Wars and Rebels to understand what's happening here.
You get a new movie every 2 to 3 years, once every 20 years.
Right.
You know?
And then I think we're going to probably get movies much faster here pretty soon.
See, I just don't want them though. Like, I don't want them faster. The faster is not a problem I have, right?
Okay,
Like,
okay, Ethan, hold on.
never once have I finished a piece of MCU content ever in my life and gone, okay, where's the next one?
That happened to me today. That happened to me
It's
just
never,
today.
not with a movie, not with a show. It's never happened to me.
The only thing I wanted was I want to know what happens with Lady Loki, which is
I mean,
what I'm calling them. I guess that's presumptuous.
That's the given phrase, I believe.
Is it okay? If that's incorrect, that's on me.
Well, that's what your brother said.
Okay.
They made a video with that title.
Oh, I didn't see the video. That's
Yeah,
good.
it came out Tuesday, I think.
Well, the episode came out Wednesday, so probably
Yes.
Thursday.
No, it
Oh,
was a
they-
prediction.
Oh.
Because I was working on Popcorn Culture, and Ben was like, we should put the Lady Loki thumbnail Popcorn Culture, and Jay was like, it might be entirely wrong by the time Popcorn Culture comes out, though. It wasn't. I don't think. I didn't watch the video.
Here's what I'll tell you. I knew it was going to be Lady. Okay, I was still holding out that it wasn't going to be a Loki. I thought they were going to get that wrong, and I thought because of the mannerisms we got from some of the other actors portraying that character, as I was watching it, I was like, "Oh my God, Cate Blanchett's about to come on screen." Cate Blanchett did a TV show.
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen.
No? Oh,
No.
they brought up Ragnarok. That like I knew it was a woman. I was like, obviously. They
No,
brought up-
'cause if it
they
wasn't
brought up
Loki,
the
they would-
daggers.
If it wasn't
I was-
Loki, they wouldn't have revealed it in episode 2.
I was surprised they revealed it. I honestly thought we were going to get like a Monster of the Week sort of thing where every week they
Here we go.
Sisyphus their way out of catching whoever this is under the hood.
No, I didn't think that at all. I definitely figured we were going to get a reveal this week as to who it was under the hood. Because whoever is under the hood is not the bad guy, right? Like, clearly.
Right. Their
Clearly.
goal is still the story.
Yes, clearly not the bad guy.
Loki's the bad guy.
I think the TVA is the bad guy.
Elizabeth Olsen is the bad guy. That's what I'm gathering.
No, I don't think you're right about that either.
The Hex is something. There's something there.
Maybe, or it's just an Easter egg.
Or yeah, it's just like a, hey, remember that other Marvel show we
Right,
did?
like it doesn't have to be. Also, you can't just like. There are plenty of coasters that are hexagons. You can't just hang on that forever.
Please. How many coasters are in your house right now? I guarantee plenty.
I believe all of mine are octagons. Maybe hexagons?
No, yours are octagons. They're like rubber, right?
Huh? No. What do you know about my
No?
coasters?
I don't know. All of my coasters are squares.
I believe
Or
mine are.
diamonds.
I believe mine are hexagons.
Do I have any coasters nearby? I wouldn't use a coaster on this desk.
I have a coaster on this desk that I got from Robin Aswazel years
Oh,
ago.
yeah. It's like a yellow dog banana bird thing.
No, that's yours. I have
Yes.
Yellow Submarine.
Oh, what's mine again?
It's the banana llama or something.
Or banana dog or something like
I don't
that?
remember.
Something to do with Liverpool, I'm pretty sure. Here's what I know. I think they are humanizing Loki in an interesting way here. The first episode was very much like, maybe you should watch The Dark World. That was a good one, right? This episode was like, this is nothing like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The
Yeah.
character Loki you've known, gone.
Gone. Yeah, it doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
Exists, but not in this timeline. Not in the
Right.
it exists in the sacred timeline, not in this timeline.
The character that we're hanging out with is not the Loki who, presumably, we don't know how long he's been in the TVA, and according to this episode, time doesn't really work there. But like, presumably, is not much like the Loki that was captured by the Avengers at the end of Avengers 1.
No, but he is also not the Loki that dies to protect the
then-
Infinity Stones.
Yes. Correct.
Like, he is not that guy either. He is upset about Ragnarok, though. Especially when it turns out that there's
Yeah.
no saving it.
Yeah, there's no foul
When
play
there's
there.
no variance energy.
Yeah. You
The
gotta-
hanging out inside Apocalypse's thing is one of the coolest pieces of premise I've ever been handed in my life.
That's good stuff.
That's good right. That's capital G, capital W, good
writing.
writing.
That like
when-
if
when-
you if you could travel through time all you wanted, Apocalypse, this is where you're not going to mess stuff up.
I mean, the scene in Pompeii, one of the best all time in the MCU.
Yes, when he gets up and starts speaking Latin.
It's like they called up Neil Gaiman, like, hey, we need 5 minutes of show, please. Thank you.
I want to
And he goes, what if Loki went to Pompeii?
I want you to pull up the show right now if you can, because
Okay.
I'm 80% sure Loki's necktie was CGI'd on for the entire episode.
Okay.
I'm like, I was watching it on a big 4K television, and I was like, that tie's not real. It's not there.
Okay.
And I kept thinking about it the whole time, and then he touches Owen Wilson's tie, and I was like, there's something to this tie situation.
Something is wrong here.
Something's not right. And then I was looking at it, and I was like, I wonder if he would have thought that like doing this without a tie would like look better, but then when they got at the post, they were like, nah, this really doesn't work. Loki's a tie kind of guy. He makes a comment about wearing a suit in this episode. He's got to wear a tie.
His jacket, I think, was fantastic. His like,
His like cool ass variant jacket.
yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
I mean, so I'm looking at they're in the Renaissance Fair. He's wearing the jacket and he's got his pants on. They both have the TVA belt buckles.
Oh, he's got
which-
his pants on? That's unusual.
They have, like suit pants. They're both wearing suit pants. They look like they're wearing the same pants virtually, but that he's wearing it like a coat instead of a sport coat.
Okay.
I'm setting the scene for the listeners. For the
Okay.
listeners,
Yeah, go
as to
on.
what I'm watching right now, and they're both wearing like squared off wool ties.
Yeah.
I mean, they look real. They look like real ties, man. I don't know what
No, man.
they're behaving as ties should behave.
You see, man, I was watching it in that 4K. I don't know.
This is a
I don't
mood,
trust
man.
it.
Okay, I'm on a 5K iMac. This is like, I don't know how much better. It doesn't even look that great on this screen because the screen's too good.
Because it's a CGI tie.
It's not
I'm
a
telling
CGI
you.
tie, man. This tie is
I'm
real.
telling you.
This tie is real.
No,
It's on his body.
It's not real. It sort of flows too much. Owen Wilson's is real. That's how I knew I could compare.
I think
them.
dude, look. Here's the thing: is I don't think either of us are in a point to say what happens with Tom Hiddleston's tie, because like I've never been that thin in my life,
Okay.
and it's been a long time since you have. Like that man is designed for a tie. He can wear a wool tie that's too short and look cool.
Yeah.
I can't do that. If I wear
Hey,
a wool tie
hey.
that's too short, I look fat.
No, big boys are all about the short ties. The problem.
Yeah,
here's-
not the club tie though.
No,
Not
you
the-
got to wear a fat boy that's short.
Yeah.
But like big boys, you can't do the belt buckle thing
No.
because then it's too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It won't tie.
Right. They have TVA belt buckles.
Yeah. You didn't notice that on your 4K TV?
No, I didn't. I was
Go
too
back
busy
and look. They both have matching like maybe not gold, but at least brass TVA belt buckles.
That's awesome.
The TVA's got some swag, is all I'm saying. Like it's a cool aesthetic.
What's the commentary here that Marvel is trying to make? Like, put your 11th grade English teacher glasses on.
Okay.
They sit down and Owen Wilson says it's real because I believe it. Who are they calling out right here? Are they saying like it's okay to believe in God even if you can't prove it and like have this immense faith? What is the
I think you're on the right track. I think you're garnering the wrong conclusion.
I think that's what
I-
they're saying Owen Wilson is saying. And I think
Yes.
the commentary they're making to us is like, doesn't that sound ridiculous?
Yes, I do feel like that is the commentary they're making. But Owen Wilson, yeah, it's God, it's anything really. Like it's just belief in general. Like they're having a conversation about belief in anything, because like there are plenty of people that don't believe anything, right? That have no abstract hope whatsoever.
Well, they put their faith in, I guess, like, I'm not coming down on this because I find myself doing this a lot, but I find a lot of people put their faith in like peer-reviewed study. Like if I can't put it through the scientific method, it's not real.
Yeah.
And if it hasn't already been put through the scientific method and been peer-reviewed by a report I haven't seen, it's not real.
Yeah, no, I think you nailed what they're trying to say, and I do think at the end of this, the TVA will be. I think the TVA will be revealed to be bad, and Mobius will not.
It'll be one of these things where
Mobius is not a
like,
villain.
Yeah, I don't think Owen Wilson's a villain.
No.
I don't know about this lady he's working for, where she's like, I've got other operatives. I was like, I don't like that at all.
Renslayer?
That's cheating. Yeah, Renslayer. That sounds like a terrible name.
Yeah, it's too obvious though. It really is.
Yeah.
It's too. So I think
That's
she
like
has to
being
be
like, hi, my name's Bard the Barbarian.
She's gonna. She is the one that communes with the
timekeepers.
the timekeepers. So I think she's being lied to. I don't think she's doing the lying. I think she is being lied to.
Do you think the timekeepers are real but not who they say they are?
No, I think there's somebody above her that speaks to the timekeepers,
Okay.
and
I was
she is
thinking-
just not willing to.
Now, like, knowing what I know about like comic worlds, and this is an MCU thing, right? There's like cosmic level, like greater than Thanos sort of level, like beings, right? Like we know Ego is a celestial, right?
Yeah.
He's like a living planet, can make life, right?
Yes, but this is extra universal.
Right. Extra
This is super universal, right? Not extraterrestrial or super terrestrial. This is different.
extra dimensional.
Yes, but I would say so is a celestial. So is like Dormammu.
Yes.
This is theoretically, the timekeepers are theoretically the highest power in existence.
Yes.
They exist beyond existence to be the highest power in existence. And I also don't think they're real. But I don't think it's Renslayer propping the whole thing up.
No, I don't think so either.
I think she is the card that will fall out of the House of Cards.
Yeah, I
but
think you got a pyramid here.
I do not
Yeah.
think she is the rock upon which the church is built, as it were.
No. I'm curious if
She is more of a Judas than a Paul.
do you think she will betray the timekeepers?
Yes,
I think
because
I think
of the
Mobius is
great
our
plan.
Judas here.
No, I don't think he is.
I think I think the commentary is Judas isn't the bad guy.
I mean, that's the commentary from the good book, the Bible, right? Is Judas
Had to.
had to. That was the great ineffable plan, right?
Right.
That's the thing. So I don't think that Mobius is the Judas. I don't think that he betrays. I think Renslayer knows what she is doing is wrong at some point.
Yeah, I'm curious about her. I don't trust her as far as I can throw
There
her,
might
you
not
know?
be a Jesus in this one.
I do believe there have been fair few Jesus figures in the MCU.
Sure, but like in this particular analogy, like I don't know who I'm pointing to as Jesus. It's not Mobius. It's not Loki.
Loki is Jesus.
Maybe?
Loki is the son of the timekeepers. It wasn't the... Well, no, I guess in this situation, Mobius is the son of the timekeepers.
Mobius is the son of the
story.
timekeepers, right? Loki is still the son of Loife, the frost giant.
Yeah, and
Mr. Lofison. Gets me every time.
Odin is not his father.
No, Odin's never been his father.
Right. Yeah.
That's just mythology.
Loki of Asgard.
Yeah. Odin is his adoptive father, stepfather. No, it's not stepfather. Not
no,
stepfather.
it'd just
adoptive
be father, but it'd be adopted father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Loki is the son of a frost giant.
Yes.
They talk about it in this episode, and Owen Wilson's like, what? The frost giants. That's more weird than less weird than me being born of the timekeepers.
But I think that's such an interesting argument because it's like we, the viewer, know like, yes, that is less weird. The frost giants,
right,
in the world you observe, exist.
Yeah, lesser power than Thanos.
Lesser power than the TVA.
Are destroyed by Surtur.
Right. Like we discussed this in this episode.
Yeah.
Frost giants aren't destroyed by Surtur.
Yeah, they are.
No, that's a different realm.
Is it? I don't think it is.
Yeah, that's like the whole plot.
Oh, I don't know.
Is that they use the Bifrost.
The realms thing gets me more than the time travel thing, honestly. The Norse realms.
Well, so the Norse realms, I think that there's been a little bit of retcon to how that works because Thor explains it in Thor 1 to Jane Foster as like there are 9 realms and you can go between them through the Bifrost. But then the Bifrost just kind of becomes like a teleportation service. Like he could like Bifrost from I don't know where.
I could have sworn that like we have Mars, they have the planet of the frost giants.
No. You have to take the Bifrost out of what is the name of their home?
Asgard,
duh. Asgard to Niflheim, which is the home of the frost giants, which is also not Midgard, which is where we live.
Right, and that's the thing though, is Midgard is not Earth.
Midgard is Earth.
No.
Well, Midgard is like
this universe.
Right. Yes.
Like
you could not like although that's where it gets a little bit tricky, right? Is they hop on the plane or they hop on the spaceship following the events of Ragnarok and Thanos finds them in what I guess we're presuming to be Midgard. But I think when they say
it doesn't make a whole lot of sense in Marvel. It also doesn't make a whole lot of sense in the canon. Like if you read,
there is no Norse mythology canon. This is very important. They're like the stories can break. That's fine.
Sure. But they were never put together.
Right.
Like they can break, sure, but it's never made sense.
Right.
Ever. Like if you read Norse mythology by Neil Gaiman, the like modern anthology of Norse mythology, it doesn't make any sense. Like you can loosely tie it to what's going on in Marvel, but it still is nonsense.
A lot of people do. A lot of scholars don't think that Gaiman has a very good understanding here, but I love his explanation. I think it's fantastic.
I think Neil Gaiman would tell you that Neil Gaiman doesn't have a very good understanding. It's like the first thing he says in the book.
Yeah, is that he's like
all of Neil. For those of you who've never read a Neil Gaiman book, okay, I've finished several in the last week, and basically all of them come with a preface at the beginning where Neil Gaiman says, "Hi, my name's Neil Gaiman. I stole a bunch of this from everywhere. It's all bull. Thank you."
On with the story.
Yeah, he's like, this is all nonsense. Stop trying to, stop showing up at Tori Amos's house, please. Because that's where the world tree from American Gods apparently exists.
Well, there we go. The world tree links all of. I guess that's
all
how
of the
you get
realms.
All of the realms. So, like, I guess in theory,
but not all of the realms at the same time, because the world tree goes from Asgard at the top to Midgard at the bottom.
Right. So, like in theory, I guess maybe space is the world tree.
I think no, because Odin left his eye at the bottom of the world tree.
At the base.
Yeah. Not the
Base.
roots.
Yeah, the base.
The base.
All your base belong to us.
Yeah. Somebody set us up the bomb. As long as we're talking about somebody set us up the bomb, the whole scene in futuristic Alabama was fantastic.
Yes.
Like we went from like a whole episode and a half of like a bureaucracy to like, you guys want some action? You guys mind if we blow some stuff up?
Action. And Loki didn't like Loki up at all. Very surprised by this. Loki full of pride, full of hubris, doesn't like Loki up with the horns and the daggers.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's learning a lot, right? He learned a lot from that stuff he read, right? He's pretty messed up about it, I think.
Here's my question to you. So
He does follow
Loki-
her, though.
Yes. And he leaves Mobius behind.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because he's a
Mobius
bastard.
strip. That's how they conquered time travel. That's clever. That's clever. Look at them.
So my advice to you, as somebody that feels like he gets it, not you, Tyler, but also you, Tyler, you, the listener, the viewer, stop
Listen.
worrying about the mechanics of the time travel in this
Just
show.
assume it works.
It doesn't matter, right? It's like the time turners in. I know I said last week that it's not like the time turners because it's not like the time turners in how it works, but it is like the time turners in that they are saying, "Hey guys, there's time travel. Stop worrying about it." I think that what I was quoted on the restricted section is saying about the time turners was they work because it has never occurred to me to give a whether or not they work.
Yes.
I feel the same way about the
Also-
time travel here. It does not bother me in the slightest,
Also-
and I would advise people to just stop worrying about it.
I will
It's gonna
tell
keep
you this about the book series about Harry Potter. I don't
Now,
want to
which
talk
series
a lot
is
about Harry
that?
Potter. This Harry Potter.
I haven't heard of it.
Yes, you have. I think when those books were written, even though they were very good, I don't think anybody would have expected that like Harry Potter theorist and Harry Potter interpreter would be like the full-time jobs
No.
of
Yeah.
multiple people, like holding up multiple companies.
Theorizing
Like,
wasn't a thing back then, especially not in that community.
right.
Not
also,
in
like,
the young adult or new adult or like whatever it is. The
This is young adult fantasy.
middle grade. Middle
yeah,
grade.
middle grade fantasy.
Middle grade children's fantasy. Theorizing didn't exist.
There was like, yeah, how much?
Because I remember how it went. And Mary Clay differs with us because she was a Tumblr kid.
Yes.
But like I remember that when we read Harry Potter, we just took it as it was.
Yeah, you just
And like
accepted
analyzed it like a book and just accepted it, right? Accepted that we weren't going to know what happened next until the next one came out.
Well, and there was no way to predict it, right? There was no way on Earth to finish Order of the Phoenix and be like, you know what the next one's about? Harry finds Snape's potions.
But now you got to predict everything. That's the whole
gotta-
gig.
Yeah. What's going to happen with Lady Loki? I think Loki falls in love with Loki. That's the key here.
Maybe. I don't think so. That would be a bummer.
It would be a bummer. Yeah. Mad bummer.
That would be a huge bummer.
Like, okay.
I was very
well,
much trying to ship him and Mobius. I mean, they're adorable.
They are.
And I'm not one for shipping with him the Maku, but they're a good one. I like Mobius a lot.
Here's what I want.
This is my favorite Owen Wilson role in a long time.
I don't think I've ever seen an Owen Wilson movie I didn't like.
He's not a very good actor sometimes.
That doesn't mean I don't like his movies. Wedding Crashers was like my favorite comedy for more than 1 year.
Yeah, because Vince Vaughn holds that up with his bare hands.
Vince Vaughn, who's the girl Vince Vaughn dates in that one? She's that redheaded girl that shows up in all sorts of stuff.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Oh my god!
I haven't seen Wedding
so
Crashers
funny.
in Grip.
She's so funny. If you saw her, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's her."
And by like a long time, I mean probably since Grand Budapest Hotel, which was 7 years ago.
Why would you have seen Wedding Crashers?
No, I mean I'm saying my favorite Owen Wilson role since then.
Oh, is he in that?
It's a Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah. Well, I know.
Yeah, he takes over for Ralph Fiennes when Ralph Fiennes goes to jail as the leader of the hotel.
All right. Well, I got to figure out who this is because people are going to be like, Tyler, how could you possibly forget Isla Fisher?
Ah, yes, she does show up everywhere.
She shows up. She's like, oh man, she's so funny. I also got Rachel McAdams, Christopher
Sacha Baron
Walken.
Cohen's wife.
Is that really
Isla Fisher, yeah. I believe so.
Isla Fisher Baron Cohen?
Yes, that's how that works. She gets his middle name too.
Oh man.
She gets his middle name. She has to swear fealty to his barony.
Oh man.
Let's talk about baronies again. That really pissed no one off last time.
Did it not? I don't remember this at all.
We were talking about Baron Zemo.
Oh, that's like a year ago. I don't remember.
And you were
that.
like, I don't know what a barony is. And I was like, I don't think it matters. And people were like, actually, it's from the comics. It's his identity in the comics, guys. We're still covering this show. And we are a movie review podcast. I guess a movie and TV review podcast now. We can't really say that anymore. But I do not read comic books. And I'm not going to start
No, I don't
reading
either. I don't
comic
think people
books.
want you to anymore. I think we're at a point in the MCU where it's like, yeah, you don't have to. There's plenty.
If they're going to
of,
put an episode of something out pretty much every week for the rest of time, it's going to kill comic books.
I think they know that. I think they're like, yeah, they're on their way out anyway. We've got some people doing these. I'm sure comic books have absolutely spiked in popularity since, I would say, Black Panther. I would say that's when the MCU was it, but like,
I bet they dropped like a freaking rock during COVID.
comic book sales.
Yeah.
I guarantee. Everybody was looking for a hobby. Everybody wanted a hobby. I picked up like 12 hobbies.
Right,
I have
yeah, I
decks
did
of
too, but,
cards
like,
in my room now.
Most
What
of
is
them
that
don't
all about?
require me to go to a store
I
with
have Lego
people that
sets.
don't bathe well enough.
I think you can order them on the internet.
I don't think you can or should be able to.
No, I definitely think it should be
Actually.
like you have to go into the store. I think you should totally be allowed to read them digitally. That's totally fine. But if you want to hold a comic book, you should have to go into a store and get it.
Right. This is the same thing with records though, because I have a bunch of records that I would have never bought on the internet. But because I was in a record store, I was like, I gotta have that.
Gotta have that one right
Where
there.
it would have never occurred to me, right, to buy Camp by Childish Gambino.
But you saw it in a record
But I saw
store.
it in a record store. I was like, I have to have that.
I saw Goodbye Yellow Brick Road at a record store.
That's a big one these days. That just got repressed or something.
No, this was not a repressing. This was old as butts.
Oh, well, yeah, it's just got a repressing. I believe that everybody's like freaking out
And I
about.
believe it was like $10, and I didn't buy it because I would have had to put it in my suitcase
On an airplane.
on an airplane. Now, the suitcase was a carry-on, but I still didn't trust it.
Yeah, that's fair. I have a copy of that. It was my mom's, and
Do you?
the sleeve is barely holding on barely holding on.
I believe, if I recall correctly, your mother was a Goodbye Yellow Brick Road stan.
She was, yes. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road and Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player were her go-to EJ records.
Here's my question to you. When did Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, the song, come out?
Shot in the Dark, 75.
I think it's 73. When did The Wizard of Oz come out?
39.
Is Goodbye Yellow Brick Road closer to The Wizard of Oz than it is today? That's
Yes,
what I'm trying
absolutely.
to get to.
Absolutely it is.
Yeah?
Absolutely it is. If it's before
Does that hurt?
1980, if it's before 1980, yes.
If that's, does that hurt your soul a little bit?
No. No.
It's not like we were alive for that, but
No. It's when you start to think about the gap of time that didn't exist between like the end of World War II and the Beatles is so insignificant compared to like the gap of time between the Beatles and now.
I would have thought the Beatles were around during World War II.
They were not.
That's how like I have a theory that time, this is my time theory. Time started roughly in 1900.
I would say that time started whenever the Beatles released Love Me Do. As much as I'm not that big of a proponent of the Beatles, I do list basically everything in my life as pre-Beatles or post-Beatles.
I just think, and maybe it's the way we structure history courses, that like anything from 1890 and earlier is like ancient history, which is not how they do it, right? You take
1890 is when I think Sherlock Holmes was written.
sure.
The Industrial Revolution, right? The London fog, all of that. Victorian London. Not Elizabethan, not Shakespeare. 300 years after Shakespeare.
Yeah, I don't know Shakespeare ever existed.
I don't know what they were doing. I don't know what they were doing between. Well, Shakespeare didn't exist. Shakespeare was like 14 women writing as William Shakespeare. This is conspiracy theory that I am willing to believe with my whole chest.
No, I don't. It's like my conspiracy theory is that like none of that happened. Like the Earth just popped into existence with all this history of culture, and whoever created it did not anticipate us to make and like advance culture as fast as we did. In my mind, 1850 and 1650 are roughly the same year. But 1965 and 1975 could not be more different.
Exactly, right. Because 1965 was the Beatles and 1975 was Elton John.
And then 1975 was 2020.
And like 1560 was William Shakespeare and 1890 was Arthur Conan Doyle. Like, what were they doing in that time period?
Right. And honestly, I bet Arthur Conan Doyle could have shaken Shakespeare's hand.
He could not have.
I know that, but like if you were like that's obviously I don't believe this, right? But I totally believe this.
Where do you stand on the whole Earth is 4,000 years old thing, or 6,000 years old?
Way younger than that. Way younger than that.
How do you feel about birds? Real or not?
I believe there are birds. I don't believe there are birds in England.
You don't believe there are birds in England? I think you got yourself the making of a book here.
Actually, the title of the book I typed out maybe a few pages. It's called "There Are No Birds in North London."
That's a good one. You could go with The Last Bird in London.
It's got to be a borough based.
Okay.
The Last Bird in Queens. I don't know anything about London. I know a lot about New York.
Yeah, you could write like The Last Bird in Soho and then just pick later. London, New York, who knows?
Right. The Last Bird in Brooklyn. I don't think I'm allowed to write that book, but like,
I don't know what Soho is short for in England.
I don't know what it's short for here.
South Houston Street.
Ah. Yeah,
it's a Manhattan neighborhood. They get.
But the idea is that like there are birds, like predator birds are still birds, but like pigeons, those aren't birds.
Yeah. I think you got to write this book now.
Although here's the challenge. They say that like when I first posed to the world that there are no birds in England, people were like, actually there are ravens at the Tower of London, and I was like, there has
ravens are
never
real.
There's obviously never been more proof that there's no birds in England than that there are ravens.
There are ravens at the Tower of London, and they just hang out there.
Like that to me is 100% confirmation that there's no birds in London. Right.
I do maintain that they do refer to England as Albion, which is definitely a bird word.
That is a bird word.
That's like it
sounds like
people were very confused when I said that. When I was like, that's a bird type word, but like it so is. Right.
It sounds to me, is Albion not something related to salmon or some sort of game fish?
Oh, I have no idea.
I'm thinking that maybe albacore. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
That's albacore tuna. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. Tuna.
No, it's just it's a name for England.
This episode of Loki has gotten a little off track.
We did good though. We did 30 minutes of good. Neighborhood of good.
I've had fun. People at me on Twitter or comment on the YouTube or post in Facebook. I want to hear from you about this episode. I want to know when you think the world started spinning. I'm a firm advocate of the last Thursday theory that it all could have just popped into existence last Thursday. So with all of us here, with all of our memories and all of our history and all of our dinosaurs.
Okay, but like we did last Thursday.
Did we, or did we remember last Thursday?
No, but I mean, I was there for it. Like,
well, you remember last Thursday.
No, I remember 2007. I did last Thursday.
I have more vivid memories of seeing Transformers than I do last Thursday. What did I do?
Last Thursday was a good day. Last Thursday was the day that I sat out in front of Sweet Donkey for 4 hours while it rained.
I took a plane from Nashville to
Washington.
Reagan.
Ew.
Oh, Reagan over Dulles every day of the week.
No, sir. Wrong.
Oh, yes.
Reagan's
Yes,
only plus is that it's on the metro, and the place you're going isn't on the metro. So
Yes, it is.
no, it's not.
Fairfax is on the metro.
Okay, but like you can't get to the place you were staying from the
No,
metro.
I mean, it's like a 5-minute drive from the metro station.
Okay, it's a 5-minute.
shake.
It's a 5-minute drive. 5-minute drive is a long time when you don't have a car and you have a train that doesn't go there.
Right, but if I drove to the metro station, I would have been fine. And I had a car in the district, but I just had somebody pick me up because it's not that far from where I was going anyway. Anyway, there's a direct flight from DCA to BNA that's like $150. And
Is BNA the Nashville?
yes,
Weird.
I know.
Weird.
Yeah, but it was a nice flight too. Anything direct is a nice flight.
I know they can't be NAS because that stands for Naval Air Station, but like,
Memphis is super weird. Anyway, what it comes down to is like Reagan greater than Dulles greater than Baltimore.
I've never been to BWA. BWI.
But I wouldn't.
I like Dulles. I have no problem with Dulles. I've never flown out of Reagan. I've only flown into Reagan, and it was not.
I actually
great.
have no issue with any airport. I've never been into an airport and been like, this is a miserable experience.
There's a while where Atlanta didn't have ceilings and just had like wires. That was a little weird.
I think I don't remember where I was. I think I was in Philly one time. I was landing for a
like
layover,
Philly.
and I had to go through security again.
Ooh,
Not a fan.
I didn't have to do that
Not
when I
a
was in
fan.
Philly.
Yeah, because the domestic flight I was taking was through a gate where there were international flights. And
Gotcha.
if you're flying international,
That happened to
you have
me
go through security.
in Charlotte one time because
Maybe it was Charlotte. I have no idea.
I took a
what it
plane from Orlando to Charlotte, and that plane was then going to London.
was. Yeah, so they made you go through security.
Yeah,
I did recently get TSA pre-check. Game changer.
Game
Thanks for
changer.
listening to Bacon and Eggs.
I've been
Interact
eating
with
that
us on social media. Talk to me about this episode because I had a lot of fun with this one, and I want to know your thoughts on this.
Me
one.
too. And tell us about birds in London. Actually, don't. I do not want you to at me and say, I'm in London, here's a bird. I don't want that at
Yeah,
all.
I don't believe you.
Unless it's a kingfisher, then I care.
Yes, but I don't think that you have small predator birds in London.
Is the kingfisher a predator?
It eats fish.
That doesn't make it a predator.
I guess maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. That didn't immediately strike me as predator. I think of predator birds. I think of birds that prey on
I'm like gophers.
prey.
Yeah. Yeah. You're learning about predator and prey.
Birds that
took
have
me a while.
a food, right? Like fish can't be your thing, right? It's like if we took the kingfishers out of the equation, there would still be tons of fish. It wouldn't be like a boom in the general fish population.
Yeah, but fish reproduce like
The way
fish,
that if
dude.
you took away hawks, there would be like
Rabbits.
mice and rats and rabbits everywhere. That's
we
what I
have
think
a
of when I
hawk.
think of predator.
This is a fun fact. We have a hawk or a falcon, one of the two. I think it's a falcon that lives in my vicinity.
Cool. It's a good bird.
Yeah.
Raptors
Very
are
good
cool.
bird. We also have a cardinal who flies into my window.
Cardinals are the worst.
Cardinals suck.
Yeah, welcome,
State bird.
Welcome to Virginia.
I understand, listener. It's also your state's state bird, but it's our state bird too.
I promise you, it is the state bird of so many states because it has annoyed so many statesmen in the past that they've been like, we need a bird, and all you can think about is the cardinal that is floating in your window 400
flying
times.
into your window right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.